Hello and welcome back to part 3, the final part of our Ocean Dimensions Coral Reef Life presentation. So we'll start off with turtles. Do you know your turtles? So today we won't talk about the amphibian, the terrapin, or the terrestrial, the tortoise, but we will talk about the sea turtle, which is fully marine. So here in the Maldives we get 5 different species of turtles. But we have 2 very common ones that are within the atolls. The first one is the Hawksbill turtle on the left hand side. You can tell a Hawksbill turtle because they've got a much sharper beak. They're quite small, or smaller than the green turtle, and they tend to have quite a brown dirty shell, maybe covered in a little bit of algae. The green sea turtle is a little bit different. They tend to have a much more rounded face shape and a rounded shell as well. They tend to be a bit bigger, they can actually get quite large, and they are of course that green colour. They do tend to be a bit cleaner as well, and we normally see them more while diving. So there are 7 different species of sea turtle, but like I said before, within the Maldives we just get those 5. And we are very lucky to see the hawksbill and the green turtle quite regularly. Now, the sea turtles are fully marine, and the only time they will ever come onto land is when the female goes to lay her eggs. And she will always lay her eggs on the same beach that she was hatched from. So they have some amazing GPS system up in their head that allows them to navigate the seas back to their home beach. So this video here is taken on one of our very popular snorkel excursions to an area called Coral Reef, where we almost always see turtles, including ones like this hawksbill, sometimes very close, obviously no touching. We sometimes also see the green sea turtle. They tend to be a little bit deeper, like this one here, who's just chilling, resting on some coral. So the next animal that I'll talk about are dolphins. Now, unlike anything else that's been talked about in this presentation, dolphins are mammals, they're not fish, so they breathe air. This means that they have to come up to the surface all the time so that it can breathe the oxygen in the air. Now, this video is taken in an area called Dolphin Lagoon. Very, very good for seeing dolphins, and these ones are called spinner dolphins. They're a bit more smaller, they're more agile, and they like to jump out and spin like the name suggests. The next species of fish that I'll talk about are the scorpion fish. So these fish are pretty incredible. They're also not the most pleasing to the eye, they're a bit ugly. So these guys are all toxic, so you do not want to stand on one of these. If you do touch one of these, then your holiday is over, you're going to hospital. So the first one is up in the left hand corner, that's a stonefish. The one across is a lionfish, which normally is nocturnal, so we see them very well during night dives and night snorkels. The one on the right hand side, up the top, is a leaf fish, and the bottom 2 are both different types of scorpion fish. So I have a wee video here as well. Now, scorpion fish are what we call ambush predators, which means that they don't really do a lot of swimming. They just like to sit on the rocks and on the reef and wait for prey to come to them. Now, we don't always see these kinds of fish now, not because they're not there, but because they are very hard to spot. This is a lionfish. This is actually quite unusual. Like I said, they are nocturnal animals. This one's that leaf fish, because it looks like a leaf when it's in the water current. And this is the stonefish. You can tell because they've got a big frowny mouth and big googly eyes. The next creature is the octopus. Now these guys are also masters of disguise. They are able to change their colour and their texture so quickly. It's believed to be for communication, for defense, and for camouflage. This is a video of some octopus that we see while diving. You can also see them snorkeling. They are actually part of the mollusk family, so they're quite closely related to snails. And they are one of the smartest invertebrates in the world. So we are really lucky here in the Baa Atoll. This is because in 2011, our whole atoll was declared a UNESCO biosphere reserve. There are also 9 marine protected areas within the atoll, the closest one being Honeyfire Bay, which is amazing to see manta rays, especially in that season from May till November. Now, it was created a reserve with 3 key functions: for conservation and ecological sustainability development. This just allows the natural processes and all of the fish life and marine life within this atoll to thrive and live without any nasty human interaction. It was also declared for education and research. Now, in our atoll, we have quite a few NGOs that run out of it. The first one being the Olive Ridley Project. They help rehabilitate turtles that have been stranded in large ghost nets, sometimes even losing limbs. So what they do is they just get them back to a level of healthiness and then re-release them back into the ocean and into the wild. Another NGO is Manta Trust, which have been collecting data on manta rays for so many years and have upwards of 5,000 sightings of different manta rays within the Maldives. Now, if you want any more information on these 2 different NGOs, just jump on the net, search them up and have a look on their website. They've got very informative content on there, and maybe you could even adopt a manta or a sea turtle. So how you can help. Please, while you're on holiday, don't collect anything from the beaches. Leave all of those corals and those shells, even if they look dead or empty. This is super important because those shells are actually hermit crab homes. Hermit crabs don't actually make their own shells. They're really into reusing and recycling. So once they get too small for the shell that they're in, they'll find a bigger one and just move into that. So if we all collected shells when we went on holiday, then there would be lots and lots of homeless hermit crabs. Another one is please don't feed the fish or the sea life. I'll come to that in a few slides. Please don't stand on the corals. They're very fragile. If you do, they will break, and then we'll lose our beautiful coral reefs. Please don't buy any souvenirs from the ocean. We don't need to wear gloves here in the Maldives as it's very warm, and maybe then you'll just be a bit tempted to touch some things, which you shouldn't. Which leads to the next one: please don't touch any marine life or anything that's in the ocean living. Obviously, no littering. And when you're in the water, please know your limits. And if you do need to wear a life vest or need any extra help, please don't hesitate to ask. So like I said before, please don't feed the fish. Now it may be really nice to go and feed them and see them all up at the surface, but what you're doing is you're actually encouraging them out of their natural habitats, their reef, which they're very safe on because there's lots of little cracks and crevices that they can go and hide. This means that they are more vulnerable to bigger predators, which could mean over time you are encouraging larger predators into these areas. Also, these fish have a role in their ecosystem. A lot of the coral reef fish actually help the corals by keeping them clean and eating all the algae off them. So just to reiterate, please don't feed the fish because it impacts the fish and the coral health. It changes the fish's natural behaviour, and it could be potentially dangerous to humans through time by encouraging those larger predators into these waters. So another big thing that's impacting our oceans is plastic. Now, once plastic enters a waterway, it will almost certainly stay within the water and eventually end up in the ocean. Even if you can't see the plastic anymore, it's still there. It breaks down into what's called microplastics, which affect filter feeders like mantas and whale sharks. So what else can you do? You can say no to single-use plastic. When you go to the supermarket, take reusable bags. Get a reusable drink bottle instead of buying plastic ones. And say no to straws. You can recycle, or even better, reuse and reduce. Think, do you really need this product? Choose where you spend your money. There are so many new organisations and different products that are so much better for the environment that we can choose to use. Stay informed, and of course, spread the word. Now that brings us to the end. Thank you for watching the Ocean Dimensions Coral Reef Life presentation. We hope you have enjoyed and learnt something. Remember, wherever you are in the world, you can make a difference, and hopefully we will see you in the Maldives soon.